तो लास्ट वीक जो हमने डिस्कस किया था वो किया था हमने कि क्रिटिसिज्म के ऊपर, और उसका जो बेस था वो था मैथ्यू अर्नोल्ड का क्रिटिसिज्म. और दैट्स व्हाई आई सजेस्टेड ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स that please go through Matthew Arnold's criticism. Why? Because we have already gone through the criticism from Plato up to Matthew Arnold. So here, the main point is criticism that was put forward by Matthew Arnold. Oscar Wilde has given the response, or has written in response to Matthew Arnold's criticism. Matthew Arnold is of the view that criticism is or should be objective. Objective in the sense that whatever is being presented before you, by whatever we mean any piece of literature, critic must be confined to it. Whereas Oscar Wilde is of the view that critic should be subjective. So we have discussed the same in detail in our last lectures. Today, I want to facilitate all of you with the definition of criticism, or the criticism that was put forward by Matthew Arnold. So in other words, we are going to revise whatever we discussed last week. So on screen you can easily see that Matthew Arnold defines criticism in the following words. This is not all the definition of criticism. Why? Because Matthew Arnold has presented so many best views of criticism before us. So these points are important to be kept in mind. It will help us to understand Oscar Wilde point of view. Now see, point number one, criticism is a fair-minded endeavor to learn and propagate the base that is known and thought in the world. Right? It means that it is the function of criticism, or it is the main responsibility of critic that first of all, he must collect the best ideas from all over the world, and then he may propagate or spread them among the people. Point number two, its rule may be summed up in the word objectivity. Now see that Matthew Arnold supports the objectivity. Even with the well-meant efforts of practical spirit, it must express dissatisfaction. Point number three, it must be patient and know who to wait, flexible, and know how to attach itself to things and how to withdraw from them. Point number four, it must be apt to study and praise elements that for fullness of spiritual perfection are wanted. It means that here the chief point is spiritual perfection. For example, if we go through the Matthew Arnold's writings, and especially his Culture and Anarchy, then over there we find that he has drawn his attention towards spirituality, spiritualism. Why? Because people were very much inclined towards material world. So that's why he wanted to highlight the importance of spiritualism. Let us try a more disinterested mood of seeing them. Let us betake ourselves to the tranquil life of the mind and spirit. It means that we must give preference to spiritual world and tranquil life. Tranquil life of what? Of spirit and mind, right? Tranquility we can achieve through spiritualism. And we have so many examples, I think. So many examples. For example, when we put a glance on the society, and especially of today's society in which we are living over here, then people have countless money. People have all the facilities of life at their doorsteps. But when you come close to them and ask them a question about the satisfaction and spiritual satisfaction of mind, then they are devoid of it. It means that Matthew Arnold wanted to inform the people, wanted to warn the people that mental tranquility, spiritual happiness, or satisfaction cannot be achieved with this uh, means material type of advancement. So this is the point over here, and it is most important. Let us try. Okay, criticism should be sincere, simple, flexible, ardent, ever widening its knowledge. So it is the function of criticism in the eyes of Matthew Arnold, that it must be sincere, right? Simple, flexible. Flexible, there must be flexibility in it. I don't know that who is Oppo F11. I asked Komal, and certainly she is a leading figure of BS students. So that's why I means asked her to inform all the students that they must enter the class with their names. I don't know any Oppo F11, so that's why I'm not going to allow means this type of entrance. Okay, and then Kainat is here. I allow her. So, Komal, if you can listen to me, then ask students, or you may, in one way or other, ask them to enter the class with names. Otherwise, I will never allow them with the names of the phones and
Okay, sir.
etc. And on the other hand, it is the great disturbance. So now see that, for example, I have given instructions to all the students that means all the students before that, and I don't want to means deviate from the points for here. Creation of masterwork depends on the power of man and the power of movement. Power of movement. Okay, so number one, man should be master, and he must uh, take take the great benefit of moment of life. For example, as we say that hit the nail when it is hot. So both the situations are very important. For example, a man must be very much careful and cautious. Number one, and number two, and the moment is that when the nail is hot, that is the moment. If you leave it to be cold, then you cannot mold it. So these were the most important points. I don't want to go into the details of all the things. Otherwise, we have hundreds of the examples of means from culture and anarchy and etc. But I have picked few points. So if you want to go into the details of Matthew Arnold's criticism, then you will find lot of material on internet. You may simply write down uh, the essay of criticism by Matthew Arnold. You will find certainly the number of essays over there. And the last point over here, which that was very important, so that's why I have mentioned it. Human progress, number one. Number two, progress. And number three is human spirit. Human progress consists of gradual increase in the number of those who, ceasing to live by animal alone, and come to participate in intellectual life also. It means that if you want to be a human being, you will have to raise your position from the animals or from the animal's life. No, see, basically man is an animal, right? And we have also animal instincts as well. So, but being a human beings, we have to uplift ourselves from the level of animals by using our intellect and to find enjoyment in the things of mind. So when you utilize your mind, you will certainly enjoy your life. No, Komal, you have rejoined again. Komal,
Sir, I think she is not here.
so what's your name? Shakil. Are you Shakil?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm Shakil.
Okay, okay. And then, Komal Araf is online. She's certainly Komal.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
I think that you have joined it again.
Yes, sir. I have joined it again. I have lost the connection.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. No problem. No problem. Okay. So, did you listen whatever I discussed regarding Matthew Arnold?
Yes, sir. I have listened till spirituality and spiritual satisfaction.
Okay, okay, okay. I'm recording today's lecture, and certainly I'll send it to you. But no, see,
Okay, thank you
Komal,
so much, sir.
Komal, there's a issue of what, that only 4 students are along with me. So that's why I mentioned in my messages to you that only, and the other students are of the view that they must have easy access to lecture, even if they are no more in the classrooms. So I don't think that there's any uh, use of taking these efforts over here. And
Yes, sir.
number of students have a lot of complaints that they must be means given relaxations and etc. because of such type of things and because of such type of things. But no, see, that being students, I think that I have been a student myself as well, and it was only yesterday, by 1 year back, that I left the university after getting a degree of PhD. So I was a student, and I am a student till today, and I will remain forever, right? So our teachers always always take into consideration our participation, our sincerity, and loyalty to work, right? So, okay, let us continue and let us move forward. And screen is
Sir,
before you. And now we are moving forward. We are moving forward to Oscar Wilde.
sir, I'm Ruby Kainat.
जी
सर मां कुझु चवण थी चाहियां सर सुंबल ऐं मां ॿई क्लास अटेंड करे रहिया आहियूं असां हिकिड़ी फोन आहे सो असां हिकिड़ी फोन था ॿई सिस्टर्स अटेंड करे रहिया आहियूं क्लास ठीकु आहे सर
मूंखे ख़बर आहे I am well aware of all these things. There's no need of it to mention where.
थैंक यू सर
There's no need of it to mention. And you also forwarded, you also sent a message to me. And I'm well aware of the issues of my students. My
थैंक यू सर
sympathies, my love, my sincerity is along with you, right? I am always with you through thick and thin. But you simply try your level best. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Laysa lil insani illa ma sa'a. Almighty Allah says that there's nothing for human beings except means efforts or means strive. So you are striving, and it is before me. You should not worry about such type of things. I'm well
थैंक यू
aware
सर
of that.
थैंक यू सर
You are welcome. You are welcome, Betty. Now see, now let us start with Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde, critic as an artist. And please, all the students who are at the moment along with me, they must keep in their mind that we have lot of material on Oscar Wilde, critic as artist, right? So I have picked what means the most important and easy material from the sources. Oh my God! So I means here that I have received the message that the meeting will end in 10 minutes and upgrade now to remove the 40 minutes time limit. I don't know why it happens. Anyway, let us continue, please. Whatever time we have. Oscar Wilde's critic as artist is a discussion between two men. We have already discussed Ernest and Gilbert, right? Ernest is asking questions and Gilbert is answering the questions. And what is the topic of discussion? The topic of discussion is the relationship between the artist and critic, and how neither can exist without the other. So you can easily see on the screen that what is the topic under discussion? The topic under discussion is the artist and critic. What is the function of artist and what is the function of critic? And how both of them are essential for one another. Without artist, critic is nothing. Without critic, artist is nothing. Right? Point number one, critic as artist can be separated into 4 sections. Now, we have broke up them into 4 sections. Now, please, Sarir, I think that is here. Okay, so these 4 sections are criticism and creativity. Now, how creativity is related to criticism? We will certainly learn in the coming lines that criticism is creativity within creativity. We have discussed this point. That, for example, if Komal means write a paragraph or write an essay, okay, and she wants to get it checked by any professor who is certainly who will certainly go through the same. When he goes through the same, then he will certainly either add something into it or to reduce something from it. By addition, it means that he will add new ideas, the new things, the most attractive type of things. So basically, Komal was artist, and the teacher is critic, and teacher certainly has added something into it. So when something is added or reduced from the piece of work, it is called creation within creation. It is called creation within creation. Okay? Form and composition. Means forms are means here around us, and composition, that how to give it shapes and etc. And the action versus language, and superiority of criticism and creativity over history. Okay, so criticism is superior. Criticism is superior. Certainly, it has a superiority upon what? Upon creativity and over history on these two things, as we have already mentioned earlier. Now, these are the four pillars upon which whole the theory of criticism. Please unmute your mobile phone, please. Mute it. When you are going to speak to your family members, mute it. So these 4 points are four pillars upon which the building of criticism uh, is elevated. Okay? The balance of intelligence and creativity. What is the balance between intelligence and creativity? A true artist does not believe in inspiration because his creation derives from the conscious part of mind. If you can recall in your memories, then we discussed in detail, I think, in the classrooms, conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Please unmute your mobile phones. A true artist does not believe in inspiration because his creation derives from the conscious part of the mind. Therefore, the self consciousness and the critical both play a role in art. Self consciousness is the most important thing, especially in the in the criticism. For there's no art where there's no style, and no style where there's no unity, and unity is of individual. It means that all these things are essential for one another. Forms and composition, as we have at the second number. What is the form and composition? Art comes from the individual and the process that turns draft copies of art into masterpiece. For example, Homer and Shakespeare. He has given examples of Homer and Shakespeare. Homer, we know that Greek writer, and Shakespeare, certainly English writer. Please unmute your please unmute your uh, mobile phone. Yeah, Saghir, He is Mr. Sagir and he has, means not. Now we either now, I don't know that when we will come to know about their themselves. I have removed him. Why? Because he's whom he is listening, I don't know. So either we may discuss the topic or I may give them instructions. Anyway, art comes from the individual and the process that turns draft copies of art into masterpiece. Okay, no, see, it is means individual. Individual is a person who moves forward the piece of writing, and that is certainly called art. And artist is a person who converts it into a piece, into a masterpiece. We have example of Homer and Shakespeare. Wilde opposed Shelley's notion of every poet contributing to an ideal poem. It means that Oscar Wilde is not agreed to the notion or the views of Shelley that poets always put forward the ideal world. Every poet cannot do it. He says that origin, origin of creativity is the invention of one single mind. So it certainly man possesses the